Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. On this week's Raw, there was an odd moment when the New Day vs. The Hurt Business tag title match had to be restarted because of a double countout. On mine and Luke's Raw review podcast yesterday, one fan theorized that this was the start of a slow, subtle New Day heel turn. That Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods were realizing they weren't as good without Big E, so they have to start taking more shortcuts to keep hold of their tag belts, explaining why they heelishly ran away from the Hurt Business when they fluked the double countout draw on Monday night. We all thought it was Big E that was turning heel on the New Day, when it could be the New Day turning heel on Big E. It's a potentially brilliant storyline that's totally not happening because it was all reportedly a botch. Brian Alvarez explained on Wrestling Observer Live that Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander were supposed to win the match via countout when Kofi was injured in the ringside area, to give them some momentum back after losing their tag title match the previous week. But Alexander didn't get in the ring fast enough, and so the referee called it a double countout. To protect their integrity, WWE referees are instructed to call the matches like a shoot, meaning it's on the performers if they miss their spots, which caused Alexander to accidentally redo the terrible Women's Survivor Series finish from the previous night. Thinking on the fly, MVP then grabbed the microphone and challenged the New Day to restart the match. Unfortunately, this had the unintended consequence of presenting the Hurt Business as baby faces and the New Day as heels trying to escape the match. And as the countout finish had already been botched, New Day beat the Hurt Business clean, derailing the momentum they'd built up the previous week. But let's fantasy book it anyway. Do you want to see a New Day heel turn? Tell me it's a bad day. Yes, it is. In the comments, I'll be replying to people from out of nowhere. Oh, damn it, I didn't get there in time. Before we get on with the rest of the news, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to this video's sponsor, Manscaped.com. Jingle balls, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to... I'm talking about your testicles, they're too hairy. To celebrate Christmas early, grab yourself a bargain and visit manscaped.com using our special link in the video description to get 20% off, where I recommend the world's first all-in-one men's grooming kit that has you covered from head to toe. Literally, I used it to shave my legs the other month. There's only so much to do in lockdown. Their new performance package comes with the Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer, which is waterproof, cordless, super safe, and even has an LED light to have a rave in your gooch area. Whoop whoop. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, the Crop Reviver Ball Toner Spray. They're excellent weed whacker nose and ear hair trimmer. I genuinely used to cut the inside of my nose all the time using my old nose trimmer, but not this one. And the Luxury Shears 2.0 Nail Kit. And if you order now using our links below with the promo code WTTV, you'll get free international shipping, 20% off, and 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag and Manscaped's excellent anti-chafing boxer briefs. I'm wearing them now. They're under my championship. This is weird. They're my pants on YouTube. And that international shipping just got even more worldwide, with the launch of their EU website, meaning fans can order Manscaped from 30 plus countries across the globe, including USA, Canada, Australia, the UK, and Europe. Your jingle balls will thank you. And when you do pick up your Manscaped Performance Package in the Black Friday sales, you too can get the hairless torso of Kurt Angle. They say physique building is about diet and exercise and supplementation, but really, it's about smooth, hairless abs. Otherwise, I would be ripped right now. Kurt Angle, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time and my personal hero, was unceremoniously fired by WWE back in April as part of their mass releases at the start of the pandemic. He made 2 brief cameo appearances in May before his contract fully expired, special guest referee Matt Riddle vs Timothy Thatcher in NXT, and then announcing Riddle's main roster call-up the following week. Angle actually told Sports Illustrated afterwards that WWE offered him a job to manage Riddle on SmackDown, but he turned it down to focus on his physically fit nutrition business, speculating the plan was for him to manage Riddle and then eventually probably a match between the two of us, which would have been much better than Kurt's last WWE match being retired by Baron Corbin at WrestleMania. It still hurts. But while Kurt said he's almost 100% I won't wrestle again, he did say his mind could be changed after the extensive rehab work he needed to do on his body, trying to get myself back to where I'm able to live a healthy lifestyle. I've been so banged up, my neck, my back, and my neck, but I'm making improvements. If I get to the point where I feel I can do it, then I'll probably do it. Which makes his tweet yesterday very interesting. Damn, it feels good to be able to train hard again, feeling like I'm in my 30s. Hashtag milk does the body good. Hashtag healthy mindset. Hashtag work hard, play hard. Hashtag wake up and work for it. Hashtag it's true. With a picture of him looking like one incredibly muscular thumb. Do you think we could see Angle return to the ring, and who do you want to see him wrestle? List the entire AEW roster in the comments down below. One of whom would be Ricky Starks, even though WWE tried to snatch him from under AEW's nose. Starks debuted for AEW back in June in one of Cody Rhodes' first Open Challenge TNT title matches, where he impressed so much he was quickly signed full-time by the company and is currently part of Team Taz. But that same day he debuted in AEW was coincidentally the same day WWE said they'd been following his work for ages and would love for him to join them. The funny thing is, the day that I wrestled Cody, I got a phone call from WWE saying, "Hey, we've been watching you and we wanted to bring you in." I said, "Oh really? Oh okay, interesting." Of all days. And so I entertained that conversation because I was curious, but I think I knew already which decision I was going to make. So that put things in perspective, and I don't hold any ill will towards WWE, but I really think they dropped the ball majorly on that. I'll never know why, and I guess I don't care now. You can watch Starks' full interview with Chris Van Vliet in the video description below, who, if you hadn't heard already, has interviewed The Rock a couple of times. Ricky's story supports many reports over the last year about WWE trying to sign talent away from AEW, with recent examples being Top Flight, who ended up going all elite, and Ben Carter, who opted for NXT UK in the end. It's a cynical but smart strategy by WWE. You either get a valuable wrestler away from your competition, or give them the leverage to drive their price up even higher and drain AEW of more money. But it's also a strategy that saw WWE's roster become incredibly bloated and overpaid before April's cuts. And one WWE talent might have just made themselves quite expendable for the next round of cuts. WWE referee Drake Wirtz, also known as NXT's Most Orange Man, has come under scrutiny recently following journalist David Bixenspan's article WWE appears to have a Drake Wirtz problem on Babyface vs. Heel, which you can read in full in the video description links below. In it, Bixenspan recounts his previous reports of Drake using his work email account to volunteer for the QAnon-adjacent Operation Underground Railroad, and how he cancelled Candy Cartwright's NXT bookings because of her past with Matt Riddle, and then goes on to show alleged post from Wirtz's Parler account, which is the controversial free speech alternative to Twitter that has become a hotbed of right-wing extremist activity, claiming he follows a number of extreme right-wing groups or thinkers like the Proud Boys and Tommy Robinson, real name Stephen Yaxley Lennon, and reposts misinformation and conspiracy theories. Bixenspan notes that there is increasing distaste for him within NXT thanks to his views, and while WWE hasn't yet responded to his request for comment, Wirtz himself now has in a lengthy statement on Instagram. An irresponsible and biased wrestling journalist has been recklessly attacking me and my family. I will not be bullied and I will not put up with it. For some reason, he has targeted me for quite some time now. He has gone so far as to stalk my wife's social pages and has documented every like or follow we've made in an attempt to have me cancelled. He's falsely labeling me with some of the most evil names that you could ever call someone. We are neither racists, sexist, nor members of any white supremacist organizations, conspiracy theory groups, or otherwise. This generation of woke cancel culture keyboard warriors thrive on trying to take out people they simply don't agree with. Wirtz then claims he helps fight human trafficking and child exploitation, and then accuses Bixenspan of using hate speech himself, although doesn't provide any evidence, because that's not how I choose to fight this battle. While WWE prefers to discipline talent for trying to play Twitch instead of more serious accusations, the promotion did drop the Forgotten Sons Act earlier this year after Jackson Riker was publicly criticized by the locker room for supporting Trump during the Black Lives Matter movement. We'll have to wait and see if any similar action is taken against Wirtz. In less serious wrestling news, WWE have kayfabe announced they've indefinitely suspended Braun Strowman after he headbutted definitely not Raw General Manager Adam Pearce on Monday's show, which makes total sense if the reported plan is for him to return next week and get a WWE title match at TLC ahead of everyone who actually qualified. Adam Pearce retweeted WWE's suspension announcement, adding, "Now that it's official, I personally don't feel good about any part of this situation. Unfortunate for Braun, myself, and the WWE Universe. It stinks for all of us. Hoping we all can move forward. Sadly, it stinks most for Drew McIntyre." In typical WWE fashion, Braun vs. Drew is reportedly the only plan they currently have for next month's TLC, with Dave Meltzer revealing they have no card. Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton versus The Fiend are possibilities, but they could also be saved for January's Royal Rumble. But it has finally been revealed that AJ Styles will still be with the company. After Gallows and Anderson teased a phenomenal opponent for last night's episode, AJ Styles did not return to his former promotion, with Ethan Page instead facing the wee nominal one, Jay Swoggle, who even came out with AJ's old Titantron and entrance music. It's been a busy week for the former Hornswoggle, who also cameoed on last week's AEW Dynamite. It's all part of the Good Brothers' current feud with the North over the Impact Tag Team Championships and, of course, far more importantly, the QuizzleMania Tag Team Championships, which has passed into the Impact Tag title lineage. Until Gallows and Anderson defend those belts on QuizzleMania though, we will be crowning interim QuizzleMania Tag Team Champions on today's live show, with the news of me and Pete, the podcasts of Denise and Luke, the website of Tempest and Andy, and the Wrestling Daily of Alex McCarthy and Louie, all competing. WrestleTalk Civil War. Set your reminder by clicking the video on the right. And what's the real reason Aleister Black has been removed from WWE? Click the video down there to find out why. I've been Mr. Davis. Please check out Manscaped using our links below to support the channel. And jam that jam.